Alright, so I'd like to start off this video by just saying, Dr. Pepper, if you're out there and you want to sponsor me, please do. I have spent so much money on Dr. Pepper over the years, and I feel like I kind of deserve to get reimbursed for all of the money that I have spent. Also, I am a terrible role model. Please do not follow any of the stuff I talk about in this video. Do not drink a bunch of soda. It's so unhealthy. Anyways, on to the video. Welcome back, everyone. So, I didn't really feel like playing Skywars tonight, so you just get me kind of failing at a super easy parkour. This is gonna be more of like a chill video, I guess. So, yeah, I did a thing on my Instagram story where I had people vote on which, video idea they wanted next, and the top result was a Dr. Pepper story time. So that is what we're going to be doing today. If you spent any time on my channel, you probably realize, like, in my bios, that I mention that I really like Dr. Pepper. And that's kind of just a weird, like, random thing to mention. I realized that on YouTube, at least, I've never really specified why I have this in my bio, so it can't really, like, become the meme I want it to be, unless I truly, like, specify the whole story behind this thing. So, I'll be telling you guys about that today. So this whole thing kind of started in, I think, 8th grade, and it just started off as me, like, I guess ordering Dr. Pepper a lot at restaurants. And normally when people drink a new drink and they really like it, they're like, wow, that drink's pretty good. Maybe I'll get it again next time. But for me, I drank Dr. Pepper and I was like, wow, this is really good. I think I'll keep drinking this forever. It kind of became like this meme within my friend group, I guess, that I was just, anytime I go to a restaurant, I just order Dr. Pepper. It wasn't like a super big thing at this point. It was just mostly within my friend group. So I had this friend where we started doing something we called Dr. Pepper streaks, where we'd try to drink a Dr. Pepper for as many days in a row as possible. Super unhealthy. But basically, we'd drink a Dr. Pepper, and anytime we drank a Dr. Pepper, we'd send the other person a picture of it accompanied by, like, day 3 or whatever. And the goal was to see which of us could drink the most days of Dr. Pepper in a row. It was always me. They never won. So I had that going on. So then the pandemic hit, and I'm one of those people that just kind of develops, like, a routine, even if there isn't really one to follow. So during the pandemic, my daily routine kind of looked like I would get, like, schoolwork done, and then I would take a walk down to my grandparents' house. And my grandparents always had Dr. Pepper in their house for me whenever I came to visit. So I'd grab a Dr. Pepper, I'd hang out there, and then I'd walk back home. So that's kind of when it became, like, a daily thing. I guess I can kind of blame some of this on the pandemic just because I had so much free time on my hands and not really anyone monitoring my drinking habits of soda, so I just started drinking Dr. Pepper a lot more during that time. And I think it was around that time that my parents bought me a Dr. Pepper t-shirt. And that was pretty cool, because I like having things related to stuff I like, as most people do. You have no idea how many times I've been wearing that shirt and drinking a Dr. Pepper. And I'll have someone, like, come up to me and be like, do you like Dr. Pepper? Like, no, actually, I hate it. I just like wearing this shirt to let people know how much I hate it. I don't know why people think it's so funny to say that. So anyways, at this point, I was just kind of drinking Dr. Pepper a lot. It wasn't quite excessive. Some people might call it excessive, but at least compared to now, it was definitely not. But this all changed whenever we got a new fridge. And at this point, I kind of started to realize that Dr. Pepper from this fridge specifically tasted a lot better than other Dr. Peppers I'd had. And at this point, I developed what I like to call my Dr. Pepper tier list. So basically, some idiots out there will tell you that all Dr. Pepper tastes the same, and that is actually not true. I have my own specific order in which I like to consume Dr. Pepper in, I guess. So at the bottom, you've got, like, plastic bottled Dr. Pepper. And this is like one of your last resort type things. Like, if there's nothing else available, I guess I'll have that. So then you have fountain drink Dr. Pepper, which is great. It's fine, I guess, but it doesn't compare to any other types of Dr. Pepper out there. So then, near the top, you have your canned Dr. Pepper, which is obviously the best. I don't know what it is about aluminum cans, but they just make Dr. Pepper taste so much better. But then I figured out that aluminum cans of Dr. Pepper can reach this temperature threshold where they go from like pretty good to like legendary. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what temperature it is, but if they just get like cold enough, they reach this heavenly temperature, which is exactly what my fridge happens to be set to. So yeah, I think starting around May of last year, I have drank a Dr. Pepper every single day. For reference, it is now January, so that kind of gives you a picture of how much Dr. Pepper I've consumed. Still going strong. I just had one right before I made this recording. So at this point, this meme has expanded far outside my friend group. Now it's kind of like, I'm just the person who drinks Dr. Pepper. It's just, I've become known for that, apparently. To the point where, like, people at my school, people I know, will just give me Dr. Peppers randomly throughout the day. Like, they'll acquire some, someone will give them one, and they'll be like, oh, does anyone know someone who'd like a Dr. Pepper? And they're like, actually, I do. And they'll just give me Dr. Peppers. Like, I think there was one day where I was sitting down, I was like, man, I could really go for a Dr. Pepper right now. And someone just came up and gave me one. It was amazing. And also, I had an instance where Dr. Pepper's obviously my favorite soda, but Sprite is kind of like my secondary. Like, every once in a while, I'll just feel like a Sprite, you know? So I was in one of those moods one day, and so I got a Sprite and sat down at my lunch table. And you would have thought I had committed some type of crime, because the way people, like, turned around and looked at me, someone said, oh, were they out of Dr. Pepper? Another person said, are you okay? Because they just could not fathom the fact that I just wanted to drink a different soda that day. That is how big of a deal this has become. So anyways, in, I think, July of last year, I started collecting these Dr. Pepper cans in like a massive pile in the corner of my room. Because it's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen an episode of My Strange Addictions, but sometimes at the end of it, like if someone, I don't know, if they like drink a lot of coffee or whatever. That's not a My Strange Addictions episode. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have that addiction. But they might show you, at the end of the episode, they might have a display of coffee cups. And they'll take the person out there and be like, okay, here's a visual representation of how much coffee you drink in a year. And they're like, wow, oh my goodness, I can't believe it was that much. And they, I guess, change their mind and decide not to drink that much coffee after they've kind of had like this visual representation of their obsession. So I started doing the same thing with myself, mainly just out of curiosity. It wasn't like I was going to change my ways or anything. It's just more of like a, how bad is it really? It's really bad, I found out. But anyways, I didn't really know what I was saving up these cans for. I just kind of thought I'd do something weird with them eventually. And then I had a friend come over, and she saw these cans in my corner. And she had a really great idea. She said to me, Jabek, what if you make a wall out of these? And you, like, just tape these up on your wall, just as, like, an accent decoration. And me, being the amazing person that I am, just said, oh, that's a fantastic idea. So I started collecting Dr. Pepper cans, which was actually really annoying because sometimes I'd drink a Dr. Pepper not at my house and I'd have to, like, transport the can home. And it was just this whole ordeal. But eventually, I collected all of the cans I needed. And I put them up on my wall, and it is amazing. It's very majestic. I'll take a picture and put it up for you guys to see, because it's quite the spectacle to look at. So yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at these days. That's just why I mentioned Dr. Pepper a lot, because I just it's kind of my thing. I have like an unhealthy obsession with it, but honestly, I feel like everyone has an unhealthy obsession with something. It's just some people might be just a little bit more obsessed than others.